Okay, hello guys. So welcome to my weekly analysis on XAUUSD. Sometimes we do other pairs too, but this week we are basically focusing on XAUUSD. But during the week, I'm gonna be sending some signals to the group. So I want to do a top-down analysis on how I get signals to you guys and how we are able to get some 50 pips, 100 pips, and so on like that. So this is XAUSD that I'll be talking on today, and on this pair I'll be using three options, which is the market structure. I'll be using the inducement, some people call it liquidity, and I'll be using the point of interest to explain what we're expecting next week, and maybe we're going to be buying or selling. From this analysis we are going to know. So yeah, so let's start. I told you we'll be using market structure, so let's start with market structure. Beautifully, we can see that the trend of this, now I'm starting from daily time frame. You can see that the trend of this market, we are out uptrend. How did I know that? You can see that from here we have a break of structure. You can see we have a break of structure around this axis to the upside. So what I did was I marked my swing high and my swing low. That's from the daily time frame. I don't do much on daily time frame. Just to give me a picture of where the market is, of what kind of trend we have on daily time frame. So what I'll now do is I go to my 4-hour time frame to see if it is aligned with it, and to also see, and you can see that market has already tapped on 50% of this bullish trend. You can see it around this axis here. You can see that market has already given us 50% of it. This is what I'm trying to say here. Market broke the structure around this area and reverses, so it gave us a retracement around our 0.618. This is the 50%. So currently market is in between this. It hasn't given us a new high, and it hasn't given us anything like, maybe it comes to our premium our discount zone rather. So we are still in between. We are trading in between the swing high and swing low. So we are trading only this. Do you understand? So now let's go to our 4-hour time frame to see where we'll be seeing the market opportunity for this coming new week and what we should be expecting. So now this is it. I told you I'll be using market structures, inducement, and point of interest. As you can see, from this axis around this area, from this point, we have a break of structure to the downside. Like market was in downtrend by giving us a lower high, a lower low, lower high, lower low. Can you see? And finally market took out this recent lower high. You can see it. So when market took it out, what are we going to do from there is that we mark out the order block that caused this break of market structure shift around this axis. So, and this is how I was able to even catch this trade last 2 weeks. So I mark it out. After marking it out, this is our point of interest. I told you I'll be using point of interest as well. So I already mark out my point of interest for the 4-hour time frame. So after then, market has been giving us something like this. You can see after this market structure shifts, we have a retracement to this point. So it was reacting on this order block here. You understand? So it was mitigated. This is another order block here. Let me show you properly. This is another order block here. This one here. This one. This is another order block. So but market came back to mitigate it. So it's no longer a valid one. I'll see if in my next video I'll be explaining. Sometimes in a particular point of interest, you see many point of interest like many other blocks. So which one should you use to enter for market? I'll be explaining in my next video, but let's continue for this. After market retrace to this point, we have a break of structure to the upside around this axis, and we have retracement, and finally don't forget we have internal structure break of internal structures, market structures. So market break to the upside, and finally market came back to test on our order block. You understand? So after market tapped it, I was in this market, and ever since then market has continued going up. And now let me tell you this: how did you know that this market resumed this market? You can see that after market came back to tap our order block, there's a structure that leads to this our point of interest, which is market came back to this point by giving us a market structure shift to the downside. If you go to 1 hour time frame, you see it clearly. Our market will give us an inducement. That's the first reversal. You understand? So after that one, we have another break of structure to the downside. Market retraced again. We have a break of structure to the downside. Market will give us a retracement, and finally we have a break of structure that's actually finally touched our order block around this axis. And from there we have this. Let me just explain it. We have this pullback. Instead of us to have a lower low, but we have a failed low here that leads to the break of structure, and so that leads to the market structure shift of this our lower high. You can see it around this axis. So when we have this, so what do you think we have now? So what we are going to do is we are going to mark out our order block. Do you get me? So now that we know that this has already broken structure to the guys, that's giving us a market structure shift around this axis. We mark out our order block. Let me make it properly. You can see from this axis. So let's do it like this. We have our MSS, just make it short. Market structure shifts from this axis. So now let's mark out our order block, our point of interest that leads to the break of structure of this particular lower high. So that's when we have our order block around this axis. So this order block, these are order block. These are order block here. As you can see, we have our order block around this axis. So let's mark it out for 4-hour time frame. So this is the recent order block that we're going to be working on. And don't forget, after market violated this lower high, this automatically become our breaker block. So sometimes I like using this full candle instead of using this one over here. Let me show you. Instead of using this one, this bullish candle here, this one, these are our order block. This is the order block that leads to the break of structure, this particular lower low. You get? So instead of using this, I like using this one, this doji, this indecision, because it's a bit, the wick is a bit bigger than the rest of this one. So that's how I used to, whenever I see a consolidation, I see a particular break of structure to the downside, I often use this particular this one that's bigger than the rest here. So let's mark our breaker block here. So marking our breaker block, let's make sure it's aligned here. That's our breaker block. Now these are our breaker block. So we have 2 points of interest here. We have this, we have 2 points of interest. We have this and we have this. Are you getting it? So with this 2 points of interest now from 4-hour time frame, which one are we going to be using to enter for market? Now I have some particular rules in choosing a point of interest. My first point of interest that is where my order block that I want to use to take enter for a particular buy or sell must not be mitigated. It must be closer to an inducement. So now look at this now. You know that our breaker block around this area, though market hasn't come to our 50% of that other block here, so it has already been mitigated. That means it has been touched, but that's not yet giving us a bullish trend. So it's still currently on it, consolidating, respecting that other block. So it's still very much active to give us a buy around this axis. So the market can finally come back to this point and later give us a bullish a buy to the upside. But if it violated this one, that means I'll be using this other block to buy to the upside. Why? Because firstly, you can see that these are inducement here, right? And okay, let me write it out. Liquidity. So this is inducement here, and this is our breaker block here. These are our breaker block here. This particular one here, this one is our breaker block. So this is the 50%. So I'm actually waiting for market to come to the 50% of this breaker block before I can now say okay, after then I'll go to my 15 minutes to see a market structure shift to the upside to start buying. But if this is violated, that means the next is this one. This is my order block that I'm going to be using. So because one, I'll count this as my inducement, then this is my order block, point of interest to buy to the upside. So now, what are we expecting next week? Two things I'm going to mention before I tell you what we're expecting. Firstly, beautifully, day time frame is an uptrend. 1 hour time, 4 hour time frame is also an uptrend, but this is a retracement. But from 1 hour time frame, if you go to 1 hour time frame, you can see that we have a we have this, we have this retrace. Market has been giving us higher low from 1 hour time frame. So ever since then, market gave us a break of strength to the upside, and finally market took out this low. So from 1 hour time frame, we are already on a downtrend. You understand? So what I would do is I'll go to my 1 hour time frame to see a market structure shift to the upside. It's like, for example, giving us this kind of, then wait for my retracement, then I can start buying to the upside for confirmation. So what are we looking at for next week? This is it. We're looking out to buy. Daily time frame is on uptrend, 4 hour time frame is on uptrend. So we are doing what? Looking to buy. You can do a short sell, but currently our market structure, our trends is currently on our point of interest. So these are point of interest here. We have first point of interest here and second point of interest. So we have to be very careful on what to do, whether to, so what I'm looking at is next week. What I'm anticipating to do next week is to buy. And if I'll be buying, this is where I'll be putting my buy limits from the 4 hour time frame and put this below my breaker block here. This is my breaker block. This is what I'm no longer using this as my breaker block here. Yeah, I like using this one. That is my own way of trading, because sometimes markets will come below it and still respect this guy. So for a safer side, I like using this for my breaker block. So I put my stop loss below that breaker block, and I will be targeting to this point here, to this one resistance level, and this exit. So this is what we are looking for to buy. And let's go to 1 hour time frame for more clearer, to make it more clearer. You get? Yeah. So let's do some more. Let's make it more clear. Now you can see from 1 hour time frame that this is it. From here, we have a lower high, lower low, and lower high and lower low to this point. We have this inducement, trace back, and from 15-minute time frame it is a pullback, but we finally have a market structure shift to the downside and a field low for 4 hour time frame. But on 1 hour time frame, a retest, this is a retracement, and finally we have a bullish move to the upside by breaking days. So we have on 1 hour time frame, we have this breaker block to be our point of interest. We have this okay, this has been violated. We have this axis here to be our point of interest as well. You can see that from 4 hour time frame, the other block, the breaker block that I marked, also even get to this breaker block of 1 hour time frame. So that's why I like using that one. So if you want to learn how I used to use it, you can just message me privately, then I'm going to explain to you. So finally, let's do this. You can see from the 1 hour time frame, after we have a break of structure to the upside, ever since then we have a pullback, we have a break of structure to the upside, we have this retracement, and I actually sold from here. I bought from here last week, and ever since then we have a pullback, sweeping this liquidity, testing on this other block, and we have another break of structure to the upside, and we also have retracement and this axis, and we have a ever since then we have been having a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and finally we have a failed higher high. Instead of giving us a break of structure to the upside, we have a failed one here, and this failed one leads to the break of structure of this particular higher low here. So we have a break of structure to the downside here. So that's why I told you that from 1 hour time frame we are on a downtrend. You get? So all I will just be looking for is, ever since that we have a constellation around this axis, and still consolidation, and we have a pullback, a break of sell to the upside, and we have a pullback around this axis, sweep of liquidity, and finally we have a market structure shift around this axis. Market, ever since then, market has been giving us lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and lower high. So ever since then, we haven't have a lower low ever since then. So all I'll be waiting for from 1 hour time frame or 15-minute time frame is either, you know, this is our recent lower high that break this guy. So if now we are having another, this is our lower high, lower low, then we have this is a lower low, we have a retracement to this point. So once this guy is able to break to this point, giving us a lower low, and this is our recent lower high, then we have a market structure shift around this axis, breaking into the upside, then I'll be looking forward to take my buy from here. Or if market even consolidated around this axis and finally take out this lower high, then I'll be taking my buy. But all I just want to say is that we should be looking for buy next week on gold. So nothing more but buy, nothing more but buy. You get my point? Because we are beautifully from 1 4 daily time frame and 4 hour time frame, we are on the uptrend. So don't look for anything more than buy. We can look for short sale. Don't even look for, just relax, look for buy. So that's it. I'll be sending the signal to the group. You know, if you're in my Telegram group or my VIP group, I'll be sending the signal when to enter after the confirmation. So that's that for that. See you guys in my next video, and see you during the week as well. All right, take care.